So the new version of Stable Diffusion, which was supposed to come out this week, has been delayed a little bit and will be coming out towards the end of July. And the new Nvidia graphics card, the RTX 4060 Ti 16GB variant, launched to absolutely zero reviews. This video is sponsored by the Pixovert ComfyUI beginners course. Now, the SDXL, the new version of Stable Diffusion, has been out for testing for a little while, and it is the 0.9 version, the beta version, which has been made available to testers. Now, I've used it a little bit and it is fine. It is much better than the first version of Stable Diffusion. However, the launch date has been delayed a little while, and the reason for that is because the company which makes it, Stability AI, they said that the new version was proving to be extremely good, and they weren't sure which one of a number of varieties that they've produced. They weren't sure which one they wanted to release. They've got too much good stuff going on, and they wanted to make sure that they released exactly the right one to the public. Version 1.0 should be coming in about a week, maybe a little bit longer. Now, initially, they've said that the new software will need 16 gigabytes of system RAM, but you will need 16 gigabytes of VRAM for an AMD card, or 8 gigabytes of VRAM for an Nvidia card, a minimum of 8 gigabytes. Now, I have tried it, and you can run it with 8 gigabytes of VRAM on an Nvidia graphics card, but you are going to struggle a little bit with 8 gigabytes if you're trying to do professional work. That's my recommendation anyway. Now, the RTX 4060 Ti with 16 gigabytes of memory, this came out and it launched to absolutely no reviews on the launch day. This was probably a decision taken by Nvidia, probably because, well, we don't know why. I tried to get a hold of a couple of copies to do some testing, but no luck. Tech Power Up are reporting that the new card is marginally slower than the 8 gigabyte model, and they're saying this might be a reason why Nvidia were reluctant to actually have this new card available for testing. So in their article, Tech Power Up say, MSI Insider Weekly conducted a live benchmarking event of an Nvidia GeForce RTX 4060 Ti GB graphics card, where it is shown to be in fact slower than the RTX 4060 Ti 8 gigabyte. They give details of the tests that were done, and they say the only test where the 16 gigabyte variant is ahead is with CSGO. This is an ancient game from the days of DirectX 11 or DirectX 9. Bob Duffy for Intel has come up with an updated version of Stable Diffusion for GIMP. Now, this uses Intel hardware, and this is something that Intel have been working through OpenVINO, which is their framework for artificial intelligence. Now, I did give this a try, and I was not able to get it to install properly on Windows 10. The new version of Stable Diffusion, SDXL, is probably going to be running on what's known as ComfyUI, and ComfyUI is an alternative to Automatic 1111. This alternative uses what was known as node-based editing. We can already run it with the beta version of SDXL, but this is probably going to be the first version that will run with SDXL when it comes out. Not only is there a slightly higher memory requirement for SDXL, but some of the models that SDXL comes with, they are like 7 gigabytes, 13 gigabytes. They're huge files. So I think faster storage is going to be another concern when it comes to the launch of this one. Let's make some recommendations based on what we know so far about SDXL and Stable Diffusion. Now, I'm going to recommend the RTX 4090 in this video for your graphics. And one possible card is this RTX 4090 from Gigabyte. Now, this one is available from Amazon.com, and at $17.49, it is kind of like the average price we're seeing at the moment for the 4090. It has a nice white aesthetic, and it's one of the few that has a white aesthetic. It's available from Amazon themselves, and I've recently started taking a look at who's actually selling, because sometimes Amazon have third-party sellers in the main box, and some of the third-party sellers that they put here, they've got very poor feedback. I mean, in some cases, the feedback of the third-party sellers is really appalling. So I'm going to focus on cards where Amazon themselves are the seller. But if you are finding another seller, please click on the link. There will be a link and you can check the feedback given for that particular seller. I'm going to say if it's less than 90% positive feedback, I would leave that particular opportunity behind, or move down here and find another seller with better feedback. Another recommendation is the RTX 4090 Supreme Liquid X. This comes from MSI, which is one of my favorite brands when it comes to these high-end GPUs. This is a liquid cooled monster. Now, these GPUs are huge. They are huge, and they weigh a ton, or ton in America. They don't spell it properly. Okay, I'm kidding. So these ones has a liquid cool attachment. You don't have to do the liquid cooling yourself. It already comes liquid cooled at 1749. Like almost everything else that we're looking at, I think it's actually pretty decent. This one allows you to set the fans, the cooling fans for the liquid as being exhaust fans, to exhaust the hot air from your case, either at the top or at the front, whatever you prefer, and you probably still have room for a liquid cooler for your CPU. MSI have another card which they call the Supreme X, but without the liquid cooling. Currently, it's exactly the same price. That's kind of unusual, and I think at this sort of price, the liquid cool one is actually very good in terms of price competition, because it's usually more expensive. The liquid cool one got a very good review from Tech Notice, a YouTuber who reviewed it, and he really liked it because of the way it allowed you to avoid having one of these monster GPUs in the PCIe slot. I gotta say, I understand. I perfectly understand. Now, another brand which I think is perfectly fine, but you tend to find it doesn't, generally speaking, review well, is the Zotac gaming card. They have a very long warranty. For 4 years, 5 years, you have to register the product to get these longer warranties. They're usually at the lower end of the price range. I really like the look of this bad boy. I like the sort of curved appearance. And with all of these ones, you are going to need a powerful power supply, minimum 850 watts. I'll link to a video that I did recently on the power supplies for these more powerful components. And that one covers all the new 12 volt high power PCIe ATX3, the new standards for power supplies. And one that is very good value at the moment is the RTX 4090 Gaming X Trio. This is from MSI. I do like MSI for these higher end builds. This one, typically what you'll find with their Frozer, what they call their Frozer technology, they have reasonably good fan controls pre-built. One of the things to bear in mind with the new SDXL is that it has these massive models. You know, we're talking 7 gigabytes, 13 gigabytes, and you might want to take advantage of PCIe Gen 5 NVMe storage. This bad boy here can go up to nearly 12 gigabytes per second. In terms of the read speed. So that will allow you to read these massive files very quickly. 2 terabytes for $292. 4 terabytes can be got for $489. So they're quite a lot more expensive than the PCIe Gen 4, but they are super fast. If you want to take advantage of these ones, I would strongly recommend going with AMD and the 7000 series. You would need in particular an X670E motherboard. I believe they also work with the X650E motherboards, but they have to have an E at the end. This one from MSI is one that I would recommend. This is the MAG X670E Tomahawk Wi-Fi. So it's a fairly up-to-date motherboard with a couple of Type-C connectors. These are the One is a super speed 10 and one other one is a super speed 20. Can anyone tell me what super speed 20 means and super speed 10? I'm completely lost now with the USB silliness and changing the meaning of everything every couple of years. So this one is for the 7000 series and will allow you to install one PCIe Gen 5 NVMe drive in this slot here, the number 1 slot, and it's only that number 1 slot that can take a PCIe 5, the very fast NVMe drives. Everything else, and I think there are 4 slots you can place them on here, everything else is PCIe Gen 4. Now that's still very fast. That's 6 gigabytes per second. That is enormous. But the PCIe Gen 5 ones are, I would say, a little bit more future-proof than the PCIe Gen 4 ones. You'd want to pair that with the 7900X from AMD, but the 7000 series, those are the ones that run PCIe Gen 5 in that one slot, in the CPU slot. This one is a very fast one. It performs about as well as the equivalent Core i9 13900 from Intel. The Intel one is slightly faster, but I think the benefit of that PCIe 5 storage, I think, slightly outweighs the benefits of Intel. Again, I'm not sure about the third-party seller here, so you do find that you've got Amazon down here if you want to go with someone who's a little bit more reliable, or you can check the feedback ratio. I think some of these are okay for the third-party sellers. And with AMD, you want to go with DDR5 memory. This DDR5 6000, this one is 64 gigabytes. So if you're doing creative work, that is plenty. That is plenty to be getting on with. The memory is currently at its lowest price. DDR5 memory is currently at its lowest price. I have a funny feeling that DDR4 memory has also reached its lowest price ever. I would not be surprised if DDR4 memory, the price begins to go up over the next 6 months. But this one uses AMD Expo. This is the single click overclocking. If you want to overclock, the memory speed for AMD is ridiculously low. It's something like 4800. It's not very good. So you need to use AMD Expo if you want to get these speeds of 6000. This one at CL30, pretty good. And the third-party seller here is Racer Speed. This is a very good third-party seller. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to everything to do with SDXL 1.0 coming soon. It's a real pity that we weren't able to do any reviews of the new 16 gigabyte RTX 4060 Ti, because it is potentially something that could actually be quite good. I'll have links to some of these products in the description, and it will be links for the United States and separate links for the United Kingdom. And maybe there may be even a couple of PC builders that you might want to consider if you are in the United Kingdom. Last year, Stable Diffusion took the world by storm, and this year, ComfyUI provides a powerful way of controlling Stable Diffusion. If you've come to wonder how machine learning works, how it's possible to create an image from just words, if you would like to unlock the power of Stable Diffusion with this comprehensive course, if you want to learn the techniques and strategies used by top professionals to master this powerful tool, with my expert guidance, you'll gain the knowledge and the confidence to take your skills to the next level. And I think we're going to have a little bit of fun and entertainment along the way. So yeah, don't miss this opportunity to transform your career and achieve your goals, or just to satisfy that curiosity about what this machine learning and AI is all about. Enroll now and start your journey to success. See you soon.